All right, thank you guys. Borussia Mönchengladbach takes on Wolfsburg in a 12:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Gladbach's the plus money favorite at plus a buck 10. Totals 3, juice to the over. The draw's plus 260, and if you like Wolfsburg in an upset, they're plus 230 for some money line cash. And following Sunday's sports wagering action, I improved to 13-1 in my last 14 extra daily pick tier package plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. And that's a website where I sell really great sports pick subscriptions beginning at just $1.99 through the end of the month. Now that daily extra pick, that's one of the packages that I sell on that site, as I'm also 19-5 in my last 24 picks in that category as well. And that's good for 79% over the course of the past 3 weeks in that package. I also have a bunch of different great memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. A lot of great variety there. A lot of good stuff going on that site as well. And if you want to check out the site a little bit, maybe browse a little bit, check out my current record. Link for that website is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, Wolfsburg's won just 3 out of their last 9, and that includes a 2-0 shutout loss to Dortmund. They also played Union Berlin to a 2-2 draw during that stretch as well. Wolfsburg's 10 points behind Gladbach in the standings. They've been victorious in just 12 out of 31 matches. A lot of draws for them. And speaking of Gladbach on the other side, they actually rank 4th in Bundesliga in total goals allowed. They're giving up just 1.22 goals per contest on average thus far in the season. They're also just 1 point behind Leverkusen for that 4th place spot. Notable victories have come against the likes of Union Berlin 4-1, Frankfurt 3-1, and Dusseldorf by the final of 4-1 as well. Now, total-wise, just 2 out of Gladbach's last 9 stayed under the total of 3 goals. Meanwhile, on the Wolfsburg side, they saw just 1 out of their last 4 stay under 3 goals themselves. So with all that in mind, give me Borussia Mönchengladbach plus $1.10, winning this one outright, and the over 3 goals in that contest. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for Tuesday's soccer action. We're going to take a look at German Bundesliga. We're also going to take a look at Spanish La Liga as well. But before we dive into some more of that, I just have to quickly remind you once again that after Sunday's sports wagering action, I improved to 13-1 in my last 14 extra daily pick premium plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. And of course, that's a website where I sell really great sports pick subscriptions beginning at just $1.99 through the end of the month. There's also a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. And as I said earlier, one of those packages is called the Extra Daily Pick Tier Membership. Now, that membership's only $2.99 through the end of the month. We'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. And in addition to going 13-1 in my last 14 in that category, I'm also hitting at 19-5 in my last 24 picks in that membership as well. And that's good for 79% over the past 3 weeks in that category. I strongly recommend you at least consider using the website for sports picks. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. And once again, guys, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And with that said, let's go ahead and move on. We're going to take a look at Freiburg taking on Hertha Berlin, and that's going to be a 2:30 p.m. Eastern start time. Hertha's the slight plus money favorite. They're plus $1.60. Totals 3, juice to the over. The draw is plus 250, and Freiburg's plus $1.65. Now, Freiburg's played some really good football in their past couple of outings. They shut out a very strong Gladbach team 1-0, while also playing a solid Wolfsburg squad to a 2-2 draw. They even played Leverkusen tough, giving up just 1 goal in that contest. Now, Freiburg's lost just 2 out of their last 7, while gathering marquee victories over the likes of Union Berlin and Borussia Mönchengladbach during that span. Freiburg also ranked 7th out of 18 teams in total goals allowed. They're giving up just 1.38 goals per contest on average for the season. Meanwhile, Hertha Berlin on the other side is coming off a 4-1 dismantling at the hands of Eintracht Frankfurt. They were also shut out by Dortmund in their contest before that. No real surprise there. Hertha has been victorious in just 10 out of 31 matches this season and find themselves averaging just 1.4 goals per contest. Now, total-wise, 2 out of Hertha's last 4 got over the total of 3 goals. Matter of fact, just 2 out of their last dozen stayed under that number. Meanwhile, on the Freiburg side of things, 2 out of their last 4 got over that total themselves. Give me Freiburg plus $1.65 and the over 3 goals in that contest. All right, next match I have for you, it is going to be Union Berlin. They're going to be taking on Paderborn, and that'll be a 2:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Union Berlin's the $1.50 favorite. No surprise there. Total's 3 goals. The draw's plus 290, and if you like Paderborn in an upset, they're plus $4 to win it. And speaking of winning, well, Paderborn hasn't done much of that this season. They are winless in their last dozen, and they give up 12 total goals in their last 3 outings. Paderborn's currently in last place in the 18-team Bundesliga right now, winning just 4 out of 31 matches overall for the season. They also rank second to last in total goals scored, along with ranking dead last in total goals allowed. And just for reference purposes, Paderborn, they have 20 points on the season with regard to the standings. It's literally 53 points behind first place Bayern Munich. So that just kind of gives you an idea. Now, Union Berlin on the other side, they've lost just 1 out of their last 4, and that includes a solid 2-1 victory over FC Cologne during that span. They've also beaten the likes of Frankfurt and Bremen this season as well. And when it comes to the total on this one, just 2 out of Union Berlin's last 5 stayed under the total of 3 goals. Matter of fact, just 3 out of their last 11 stayed under that number as well. A lot of overs and pushes with regard to that 3-goal number. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, 2 out of Paderborn's last 3 got over that number themselves. So with all that said and done, give me Union Berlin minus 150 and the over 3 goals in that contest. All right, next matchup, it is going to be, I say Werder Bremen. I think it's Werder Bremen. But anyway, Werder Bremen squaring off against Bayern Munich, and that's going to be a 2:30 p.m. Eastern start time. Munich's the $5.50 favorite. Totals 3.5 flat. The draw's plus 550. And if you like Bremen in the unlikely upset, they're plus 1,300 for a win. And speaking of Bremen, they've lost 2 out of their last 3. Both of those losses coming by way of shutout. They lost 1-0 to Wolfsburg and 3-0 to Frankfurt. Their 7-17 record with 7 draws has placed them in 17th place out of 18 teams in German Bundesliga. They also rank 16th in total goals scored, averaging just 1.06 goals per contest. They also rank 16th in total goals allowed. They're taking on a dominant Bayern Munich squad who hasn't lost a match in their last 18 outings, and that includes non-league competition as well. Bayern shut out their opponents 10 times during that span as well. Their 23-4 record with 4 draws puts them in sole possession of first place in the league. They also rank first in total goals scored with 92, along with ranking first in total goals allowed with just 31. When it comes to the scoring in this one, Bayern actually saw their last 2 straight stay under the total of 3.5 goals. Meanwhile, on the Bremen side of things, 5 out of their last 6 stayed under that total themselves. So with all that said and done, give me Bayern Munich winning this one straight up. And that's an expensive price point, so you might want to include that one in a parlay. And I also want to lean toward the under 3.5 in that match. All right, moving on. Spanish La Liga action. I'm talking about Getafe taking on Espanyol, and that's a 1:30 p.m. Eastern start time. Getafe is the plus money favorite at plus 105. Totals 2 goals, juice to the over. The draw is plus 205, and if you like Espanyol in an upset, they're plus 310 to win it. Now, Espanyol's won just 2 out of their last 7. That includes 2 shutout losses during that span. They were shut out by Osasuna and Wolverhampton in non-league competition, that Wolverhampton game. But anyway, Espanyol is currently tied for 19th place out of 20 teams in Spanish La Liga. They've been victorious in only 5 out of 28 contests, while also averaging a piddly 0.89 goals per contest. They also rank second to last in the league in total goals allowed as well. They're taking on a Getafe squad who's 13-8 on the season, along with 7 draws. That record's good enough for 5th place in the league, and they're just 4 points behind Sevilla for 3rd place in the league. Now, Getafe's played fairly strong defensively as well. They're ranking 4th in total goals allowed. They're giving up just 0.96 goals per contest on average for the season. Now, total-wise, Getafe saw just 2 out of their last 9 stay under the total of 2 goals. Meanwhile, on the other side, Espanyol saw just 2 out of their last 17 stay under that number themselves. Very big span there. So give me Getafe plus $1.05 and the over 2 goals in that contest. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Villarreal taking on Mallorca in a 1:30 p.m. Eastern start. Villarreal's the $1.88 favorite, totals 3 goals. The draw is plus 320. And if you like Mallorca, they're plus $5 for some money line cash. Now, Mallorca is coming fresh off a 4-0 beatdown to FC Barcelona. No surprises there. They've also dropped 2 out of their last 3, including a 1-0 loss to Getafe. Mallorca has been victorious in just 2 out of their last 9 and find themselves in 18th place out of 20 teams in Spanish La Liga. They rank 15 in total goals scored, along with just 1 goal per game. They also rank dead last in goals allowed with 48. They're taking on a Villarreal club who's just 5 points out of 5th place in La Liga right now. They're coming off a 1-0 shutout victory over Celta Vigo in their last outing. They also rank 4th in the league in total goals scored. And speaking of the scoring, just 1 out of Villarreal's last 6 got over the total of 3 goals. Meanwhile, Mallorca on the other side, they saw just 2 out of their last 8 get over that number themselves. So with all that said and done, give me Villarreal winning this one outright and the under 3 goals in that contest. All right, next and final matchup for the show, it is going to be FC Barcelona squaring off against CD Leganes in a 4 p.m. Eastern start time. Barcelona's minus 650, totals 3 juice to the under. The draw's plus $6. And if you like Leganes in a improbable upset, they're plus 1,800 to get the job done. Now, Leganes lost 2-1 in their last outing. It was against Real Valladolid. They also won just 1 out of their last 6 with shutout losses to Celta Vigo and Levante. Leganes is currently tied with Espanyol for 19th place in the 20-team La Liga. They've been victorious in just 5 out of 28 matches, while also ranking 19th out of 20 teams in total goals scored. They're averaging just 0.78 goals per game. They are taking on a Barcelona team who's lost just 1 match in their last 7, with 3 shutout victories during that span. They shut out the likes of Mallorca, Real Society, and Eibar during that stretch. They're also in first place in La Liga with a 19-5 record and just 4 draws. And offensively, these guys certainly have no issue putting the ball in the net. They're ranking 1st in total goals scored. And speaking of the scoring in this one, when it comes to the total, 3 out of Barcelona's last 4 actually stayed under the total of 3 goals. Meanwhile, on the other side, Leganes saw their last 6 straight stay under that total themselves. Give me FC Barcelona winning that one outright. No surprise there. They're going to win that one outright for some pricey money line cash, in my opinion. So you're going to want to include this one in a parlay. And I'm also going to lean toward the under 3 goals in that contest. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some shout-outs. And we're going to begin with our Patreon platform. Shout out to my good friend Joel, very passionate sports bettor. Shout out to Joel. Also, shout out to Bruce Fowl, who another great guy. Shout out to Bruce. Shout out to Aaron DeGefa, Matt Smith, Wesley Upshaw, Don Ladisic, DJ Hooks, Darius McNeil, John Robert, and Dwight Boyd. Next, from our Instagram platform, shout out to Ada White, Matt Milliser, Bubba Jonesy, Secundino Zentella, Will Slade, Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor. Shout out to Krista Pacuris, who's actually an old friend from my college years, and I had no idea she paid any attention to my content on Instagram. So shout out to you, Krista. Good to See you there. Also, shout out to Paul Filicetti, who another old friend from college. Shout out to you, Paul. Shout out to Peter Jones and Mitch Austin. And finally, from our YouTube platform, shout out to John Calderon, Lan Wynn, Diego Roca, Bo Dunn, Sean Atlin, Cedric Zelmat, Serge Brook, Michael Jenkins, Hot Boy Chris, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my man, David Arango. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. But most importantly, guys, I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Monday or Tuesday to you, depending on when you're watching this. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.